Hi everybody and welcome to my latest video. Thank you very much for joining me. I've unexpectedly had a day off today. I booked a loo day and I've actually got it. So just been somewhere with Sue. We've come back and I thought I'd do a little video. Now last weekend I was looking through my record collection and mainly the Beatles stuff, and I thought, although I've got Sentimental Journey by Ringo Starr, I could do with like an upgrade, and also Paul McCartney's Press to Play. I've got a couple of copies but they're not in exactly fantastic condition, so I thought I'd have a quick look for a couple, and I actually found a job lot that had those two in it, and it was cheaper to buy this job lot than it would have been to buy those two individually. So it came in the week. It got like you know, it had got some like brown paper around it, but this is the actual box that it came in with the packaging, everything still in it. So I think there's about 10 albums. I think, let me just count. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 albums and a 12-inch single. And like I say, I mainly was looking to upgrade my Ringo Starr Sentimental Journey and Paul's Press to Play. Although I've got a couple of copies of both of those and they are playable, they're not in what I'd call brilliant nick, you know, the playable copies. And I thought I was going to treat myself. So the idea of this was I got these, and I've got the Press to Play and the Sentimental Journey in this, and everything else is a bonus basically. And at the end of it I will tell you how much I paid for it. So this is a copy of Sentimental Journey, which you all know was Ringo's first ever solo album. Cover of standards on Apple. This is the UK version, printed and made in Great Britain by Gerald and Lofthausen's Limited International, it says on there. Fully laminated sleeve. I'm sure you all know the songs Sentimental Journey, Night and Day, Whispering Grass, Bye Bye Blackbird, I'm a Fool to Care, Stardust, Blue Turning Grey Over You, Love is a Many Splendid Thing, Dream, You Always Hurt the One You Love, Have I Told You Lately That I Love You, and Let the Rest of the World Go By. Now, when this album came out, a lot of fans and critics didn't like it, but to be perfectly honest, and this is only my opinions, I actually think Ringo's voice suits this album brilliant. It was produced by George Martin, and then he got various people like Richard Perry, Ron Goodson, Klaus Vorman, Paul McCartney, George Martin, Quincy Jones, and people like that to arrange the songs. So Paul McCartney actually arranged Stardust. George Martin arranged Dream. Quincy Jones arranged Love is a Many Splendid Thing. Richard Perry arranged Sentimental Journey. Maurice Gibb, after the Bee Gees, he arranged Bye Bye Blackbird. But it does tell you all on there if you want to freeze and have a look. Freeze and zoom in. Now the amazing thing about this is I thought, because this was in the job lot and this job lot wasn't a great deal of money, that this would be a reissue, but I think it's actually a UK first pressing. It is YEX 771/1U. That's for side 1, and for side 2 it is YEX 772/1U, and it has actually got a dark green Apple label on it as well. Although it looks light on there, it is actually very, very dark. So that is the labels. Fantastic looking record, and this is an excellent plus, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's mint, but it doesn't actually look like it's been played because there's no spindle wear or anything on it. You see, that's the labels, by the way. I haven't had time to play any of these yet, so I might do a follow-up video, because although this one looks like it doesn't need cleaning, I will still clean it. But yeah, I was quite surprised to get this, because for some reason on certain selling sites like eBay and Discogs, original UK pressings of this album have actually gone up. I don't know if it's because of this new Beatles single coming out, or the hint that Ringo's going to do a new EP of country songs. Well, the country album came after this one, didn't it? I've always liked this album. This is Sue's favourite Ringo Starr album, by the way. She loves it. I think it was good that he did it when he did it, because people didn't expect it to sell, and in all fairness it didn't, but I think now it has sort of like its time has come and people do actually regard this in higher esteem than what they did when this first came out. I don't think it charted, or if it did, it was like something in the lower reach of the UK chart. It is a good album though. If you haven't ever listened to this album, I'd advise you to stream a couple of the songs, and if you do like it, go out and buy it. It is one of Ringo's best solo albums, in my humble opinion. Original UK copies of this can go from anywhere from £10 up to about £75, and this one is in extremely nice condition. That's all I'm going to say on that. There's a bit of slight crease in there where the laminate is starting to come off, but like I say, it looks like it's never been played. I did hold it up to a strong light yesterday and I couldn't see any marks on it whatsoever, but I'm not going to say it is mint. I'll just say it is in very, very good condition. Straight excellent. Then there's this one. Now that, there's no dust or anything on that. The rest of these did actually look a little bit dusty, so I don't know if they've been like in somebody's wardrobe and forgotten about or whatever. But this is the other one that was after, which was a decent copy of Press to Play. Now the cover on this isn't that good, but it might be okay when I've given it a wipe and everything. But this is made in Holland. I thought it was a UK one, but it's actually made in Holland, it says there. So it's a Dutch pressing, and it's a direct metal master. So if you don't know the tracks on this, I'll just run through them. Side one is Stranglehold, Good Times Coming, Feel the Sun, Talk More Talk, Footprints, Only Love Remains. Side two is Press, Pretty Little Head, Move Over Busker, Angry, and However Absurd. I think Stranglehold, Talk More Talk, Only Love Remains, and I think Press were released as singles, but I could be wrong on that. This was sort of like Paul trying to make a decent album after the Give My Regards to Broad Street album and film of the same name, and to a certain extent it does work. A lot of these songs were co-written by Eric Stewart out of 10cc, and it was produced by Paul McCartney and Hugh Padgham. Special contributions Eric Stewart. I've always liked this album. I think the album cover itself at the time was slagged off for saying it's crap, but I actually think that is like a lovely photo of Paul and Linda. It is a gatefold as well, with some drawings. I think these were called sand drawings, weren't they, at the time, but I've never really understood what they're supposed to be. A little bit of staining just there. You do get the original lyric sheet or inner sleeve with it, and this one has actually got another one in with it as well, which is just a plain white sleeve. So it's still on Parlophone. Like I say, this is a Dutch pressing. So that is side one. You see that? And I think that this label is virtually identical to the UK one. There's a few marks on this, nothing like deep though. It is in pretty good shape. Side two. I'm sorry you're getting a bit of glare from the light. So I didn't think that was too bad either. Like again, I haven't played it. But I think what I'll do, I might just do an update, like a little update video when I've cleaned them all and played them, just tell you, yeah, they all played okay or they all played crap. But in all honesty, I think that one and that one, from the looks of them, will play okay. The only downside with that one is the cover's not brilliant, where that one is virtually excellent, isn't it? So that is the two that I bought this little job lot for. And for what I paid for them, I would have been happy just to pay for those two, to be honest. But then we've got all these as well, which have come with it. There's a Beatles one. And And I've got about 4 copies of this. The Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan, and this is the original UK copy, which is basically the Polydor recordings. So if you don't know, it's basically the Beatles backing Tony Sheridan. They was like his backing band, although sometimes they'll say it's Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers, so it could still have been the Beatles, but anybody that backed Tony Sheridan was called the Beat Brothers apparently. But the ones that they know is definitely the Beatles, they've put as the Beatles. So it starts off with a John Lennon vocal on a song called Ain't She Sweet, which is absolutely fantastic. Then you've got a Beatles instrumental, which is just credited to the Beatles, and that's Cry for Shadow, which was actually written by Harrison Lennon, which I think is the only time that ever happened in the Beatles history, wasn't it? Then you've got Let's Dance, Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. My Bonnie lies over the ocean, my Bonnie lies over the sea, Tony Sheridan, that says the Beatles and Tony Sheridan, that one. Then you've got Take Out Some Insurance on Me Baby, that's the Beatles and Tony Sheridan. What Do I Say, the Beatles, Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. Sweet Georgia Brown, the Beatles, Tony Sheridan. The Saints, the Beatles, Tony Sheridan. Ruby Baby, Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. Why Can't You Love Me Again, the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. Nobody's Child, the Beatles with Tony Sheridan, and then Ya with Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. So that is the track listing. And to be honest, for saying when this was recorded in 1961, I think it was, wasn't it? The sound quality on these is actually quite good, because, you know, they were recorded by a proper record company, i.e. Polydor at the time, although this is on Contour, and it's a white and blue label. Again, this looks like it's never been played. You can usually find these pretty cheap, to be honest. They're not the most expensive Beatles album you'll ever have to fork out for, but they are worth getting into your collection just for the historical value, because you can hear what the Beatles were like musically when Pete Best was still with them. So you have got like virtually studio recordings, although it was made up in a church hall or a school hall, wasn't it? And that Polydor bought mobile equipment. But yeah, it is what it says. It's the early Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan. A very, very underrated LP. You can usually pick these up from anywhere between £5 to £15. I'd say this one is in very good plus stroke excellent condition. So I think that one will play okay. Like I say, it does look like it's never been played. Then we've got a 12-inch single of Ebony and Ivory, which isn't ever going to be worth a hell of a lot, is it? Oh God, this has got mould on and all sorts, look. Don't even know if this will clean. Look at that mould on that. That's horrible. And there, look, see it? Well, that might. It might come off. I think that's definitely going to need a deep clean though. It's a shame because the labels look okay. And again, there's hardly any spindle wear on that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a maybe, that one. There are quite a few Ringo Starr albums in this. Got a copy of Goodnight Vienna, which I've got 3 copies of, which are all okay. Like I said, I didn't really need these, but they was in with the job lot. And you do get the original inner sleeve with the words to the songs, and then you've got some lovely photos of the recording sessions. I love that one there of Ringo and John. I think that's fantastic. And there, look, John with May Pang. I think this is a UK copy. Yeah, this is a UK copy. Side 2. Actually, this isn't in bad nick. There's labels. Nice shiny vinyl. Can't see any scratches or anything on that whatsoever. A little bit of dust, so it will need a clean. And for saying this was quite a big seller when it came out, wasn't it? Goodnight Vienna. This is probably one of the hardest Apple releases of Ringo's to actually find in decent copy. happy with that. The catalogue number, by the way, is PCS 718. Sorry, PCS 7168. Produced by Richard Perry, engineered by Bill Shine. 1974, EMI Records Limited. And I'm sure you all know the track listing on this. Goodnight Vienna, a cappella, All We, Husbands and Wives, Snookeroo, Side 2 is All By Myself, Call Me, No No Song, Only You, Easy For Me, and Goodnight Vienna reprise. I think that's fantastic. That's really, really nice, sort of like spacey sort of thing, isn't it? Goodnight Vienna, yeah. So that's a nice one to have. That is a nice one to have. Then we've got a copy of Ringo the Fourth. Now I've got 2 UK copies and a American copy of this. In the UK this came out on Polydor, and in America and certain other countries it came out on Atlantic, didn't it? This is a UK copy from 1977. Drowning in the Sea of Love, Drowning in the Sea of Love, Tango All Night, Wings, Gave It All Up, Out on the Street, Side 2 is Can She Do It Like She Dances, Sneaking Sally Through the Alley, It's No Secret, Gypsies in Flight, and Simple Love Song, produced by Alf Mardin. I think there was a bit of controversy in America, wasn't there, over this cover, because that's somebody over Ringo's head, isn't it? Or was it that bit that caused the controversy? I don't know. I really don't know. The original inner sleeve, which basically just, I've never noticed that before, it just tells you the person. No, it's not the words of the songs, it just tells you played on each track, doesn't it? Yeah. And then a photo there of Ringo and Vinny, his mate at the time. This is in nice condition as well. Yeah, it does need a clean, but I think it's just dust because it's just been in the jacket. Look at that. Look how shiny that is. It's like a brand new record. It really is like a brand new record. A couple of little marks on that, but again I think it's just dust. Side 2. Again, a lot of people didn't like this when it came out. I've got to admit this album has grown on me over the years, and I love that. What's my favourite song on this? It is Gave It All Up. Gave it all up for you. Drowning in the Sea of Love is okay. Can She Do It Like She Dances is a bit of a disco-y sort of song, which I think was a criticism of this. It was like Ringo trying to do a disco album, but a lot of the songs aren't disco. They just sound a bit disco, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is in really, really nice condition as well. Again, to get an original copy of this in the UK is quite hard. The copies that usually come up are battered to hell, to be honest. But this is a really, really nice copy. So far, apart from this one, I think hasn't been bad. Then we've got another copy of John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Double Fantasy, and this is a UK copy, I think. Yeah. And like I say, on that one that my mate gave me from the Vinyl Vault, if you went like that, it felt very, very textured. This doesn't feel textured, because it's not textured, is it? You get the original inner sleeve with the lyrics to all of the wonderful songs on here. And I would say, looking at that, there's no spindle wear on that whatsoever. Yes, there's a little bit of dust on it. Look how clear that label is. And on that Canadian one, that was down there somewhere, wasn't it? It was very, very small, that Leonard Ono music thing. That's side 2. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, that is discoloured. That's a little bit discoloured on that. Yeah, that does look like it's never been played. Yes, it needs a clean, don't get me wrong. But if they've been in a box somewhere, dust can get in no matter how you put this in, because none of these were in protective plastic sleeves. A little bit of damage just there. apart from that, that's not bad, is it? Favourite song on there? Probably. I like a few on there actually. Just like Starting Over. I like I'm Losing You. I like Watching the Wheels. I think Watching the Wheels is a very, very underrated song from that album. Which sounds very similar in places, the music, to Imagine. Then we've got Paul McCartney's Give My Regards to Broad Street, the album to the film with the same name. This is where he actually re-recorded a few of the old Beatles songs and a couple of Wings songs. He re-recorded Good Day Sunshine, Yesterday, Here, There, Everywhere, For No One, Eleanor Rigby, Eleanor's Dream, and The Long and Winding Road for this. So this album is worth getting just to compare the versions that he did in the 1980s to the original versions from the 1960s with the Beatles. Some of them sound good, some of them don't sound as good. There's what else is there? A re-recording of Wonderlust and Ballroom Dancing from the Tug of War album. Silly Love Songs, obviously that was a big hit for Wings, wasn't it? That doesn't sound that good to me on this. That is the only thing. I'd say that is one of the poorer songs on this. But all in all, it is actually quite a nice album. Wasn't a massive seller when it came out because everybody hated the film, didn't they? I didn't. I quite like it. I watched it a few weeks ago actually. There's a gatefold sleeve. I think this is UK copy. Yeah, UK stereo PCTC2. 1984. You get the lyrics to all the songs. And again, this isn't in bad nick. I don't think... I've got a feeling, right? I've got a feeling these were brought, right? And somebody's like just played them once or twice and taped them. Because that's what people used to do in the UK. I mean, it's got dust and stuff on it. And hairs. And there's hair there. Dust there, dust there. So it does need a clean. But there's no spindle wear on that whatsoever, is there? Look how shiny that is. If you haven't got this album, I'd say to you, don't believe everything that's been said about this album. Yes, there is some not so good songs on it, and then there's some really, really, really good songs on it. No More Lonely Nights, I think, is one of the best ballads sort of songs that Paul has written in his solo career, especially sort of like After Wings, but like that. The version it does of For No One on there is good as well. It is an enjoyable album. The film, again, a lot of people don't like it. I watched it, I think it was just after Christmas, and me and Sue actually enjoyed it. Yes, there is a bit of a story along to it. Some of the acting is a bit wooden in places, but if you just watch it for what it is, you know, a Paul McCartney film. Can't get these straight today. You know, you won't be disappointed. This is actually quite entertaining. Then we've got another Ringo Starr album, Stop and Smell the Roses. So that means I've got 4 copies of this now, because I've got the American promo one, I've got a UK promo one, and then I've got 2 UK stock copies. One this re-released for Record Store Day this year. I can't remember if it was this or Ringo the 4th, to be honest. On here you've got Private Property, Rack My Brain, Drumming Is My Madness, Attention, Stop and Take the Time to Smell the Roses, Side 2 is Dead Giveaway, You Belong to Me, Sure to Fall, Nice Way, and Back Off Boogaloo. And this was produced by a couple of people, so there wasn't just one producer. So George Harrison produces 3 songs. Paul McCartney produces 2 songs. Harry Nilsson produces sorry, George Harrison produces one song, Paul McCartney produces 2 songs, Harry Nilsson produces 1, 2, 3, 4 songs, and Ron Wood and Ringo produce 1 song, and Stephen Stills produces 1 song. This is actually quite a good album. This is very underrated, to be honest. This was Ringo's first album release after the death of John Lennon, wasn't it? Now, the strange thing about... oh, it has got the lyric sheet with it. Very, very, very minimal wear on that, if any. Again, I'd be surprised if that has ever been played. Side 1 on the RCA label here in the UK. Then you do get the original lyric sheet with it. The only thing wrong with this is the glue's come undone there, look. But I've got some glue down there that will stick that. So that's a nice one to have as well. Stop and Smell the Roses by Ringo Starr. Like I say, very, very, very underrated album, in my opinion. Would he get away with doing that now? Probably would, wouldn't he? Because it's Ringo. Don't know what sort of look he was going for. Is it like a copper or policeman, as they say? That's a nice photo, though. And then last but not least, we've got another copy of All the Best by Paul McCartney. So I've got loads of copies of this. This is quite dusty. It is actually quite dusty. I think this is a UK version. Yeah, UK version. So side 1 is Jet, Band on the Run, Coming Up, Ebony and Ivory, Listen to What the Man Said. Side 2 is No More Lonely Nights, Silly Love Songs, Let 'Em In, Sea Moon and Pipes of Peace. Side 3 is Live and Let Die, Another Day, Maybe I'm Amazed, Good Night Tonight and Once Upon a Long Ago, which was released as a single from this album. Side 4 is Say, 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 With a Little Luck even, My Love, We All Stand Together and Mull of Kintyre. Gatefold sleeve. This actually doesn't look in too bad a condition. So you get all the words to the songs. Because I think in America, maybe even Canada, you had a slightly different running order, didn't you, on these? Yeah, it does need a good clean, but then again, it is just dust and hairs on it. That there is a hair, look. You can see that. You see that hair? It's just come off there. But again, minimal play, if any. Right, 2. And Parlophone. This is actually quite a good compilation, this. Sold in its thousands as well, didn't it, this, around the world? But yet, a lot of people don't like it, but I've never really understood why they don't like it. Mark there, it's just come off. Again, dusty, but hardly any spindle wear, look. The more records played, by the way, when I say spindle wear, the more records played, the rougher that bit there, the centre of the record will look, because it keeps going up on and off the record player. Like there, look, it looks like none at all. Yeah, Bill. So that's it. So what did I say it was? How many albums did I say it was? Was it 9 and a 12-inch single? Total. 1. Bear in mind that's double, but we count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 9, and then there's that grubby 12-inch single, which I'm sure will actually clean up nicely. Like I say, I was only looking for upgrade copies of Sentimental Journey by Ringo and Press to Play by Paul, but then I saw them in this job lot, and I paid the grand total of £20 for these. £20 for 9 albums and a 12-inch single. And yes, some of the covers aren't mint, but you don't play the cover, do you? But I think once all these have been cleaned, I think these will be excellent plus to mint playing wise. And to be honest, it came to £25 with the post and packaging. Now, I would have been lucky to get both of them for £25, especially that one. So I think I've done okay again, haven't I? I think I've done okay again on them. I did another video of this when I opened this up, but all that was on it was like parcel things, and then I ripped it off and took them out because I didn't look at them, because then my phone froze. So I did sort of unbox it, but unfortunately this phone was playing up. So once again, folks, it just shows you that there is bargains to be had out there, and you ain't got to spend a fortune. Although sometimes I do spend a fortune. I'm a fool to myself sometimes. But yeah, so all that came to 25 English pounds. That was with the post and packaging. Okay, it came second class, so it took over a week to get here, but that doesn't really matter, does it? And like I say, I think I would have been lucky to get Sentimental Journey, a decent copy of that, especially UK first pressing, with postage and packaging for £25. I might have done, but I don't think it would have been quite as nice a copy as that. And that's going to be it. Oh, thank you to everybody that's subscribing. Subscriptions have gone mad. I don't know why. Really do not know why. Don't get me wrong, I'm not moaning. I'm very, very happy. But the subscriptions and the viewing figures over the last sort of like 4 weeks have gone zoom like that. But I have been like watching a few other like YouTube videos from people, and they've like said the first sort of like 2 years, unless you get a video that goes viral, as they say, are really, really hard. But then once you get, you know, only takes one sort of like person to like watch your video and recommend it or even show it on their channel, you know, and then it just starts to skyrocket, which has happened with me to a certain extent, which I'm very, very happy for, by the way. I am really, really happy. I still can't believe that I've got over 1,000 subscribers. And the daft thing is, it's growing by the day at the minute as well. It really is growing by the day. So thank you to everybody that is subscribed. Thank you to everybody that leaves comments and leaves me likes, and have been supporting me from when I started this channel. You know, I'm still sort of like overwhelmed by it all, to be honest. I just hope I don't fall flat on my face, if that makes sense, you know, because, you know, one day you can, you know, do a video and you might get 300 or 400 likes, views, sorry. Other day you might do a video and you get 50 or 100 views. Then the next day you do one and it gets like 3,000 views. So I don't know. I don't know. It'd be nice if they all got 1,000 views all the time, but you know, that's, I do understand there is videos that some people might not want to watch. So all I'm going to say is thank you to everybody that is subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, just think about subscribing, because it is free. You know, there's a big thing down here. Press the notifications, then you get notifications when we're doing like new videos. Subscribe, and you know, that's all I ask. And if you've watched it and you're subscribed, just leave me a thumbs up or a comment or a like, you know, because that all helps with the YouTube aneurysms or what they bloody call the thing. I don't know, still can't say it now after nearly 2 years. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and just remember, you know, you can still find bargains. Yes, that was off an internet site, but would I have been able to find them any cheaper in a shop? Not for all of them together, would I? I don't think. So I think I've done okay. Well, I know I've done okay on that one. Like I say, the Ringo Starr one, that Sentimental Journey, probably cost me more than what I've paid for then. Again, so I think what I'm going to do is, once I've cleaned these, I will go through them all, and I will, any that are better than the copies that I have got already, I will upgrade, and then the copies that aren't quite as good as these ones, I'll put to one side, and then decide what I'm going to do with them. Because I think if I do that, there's going to be a hell of a lot of records. I mean, look at all the singles we've got. And then decide what I'm going to do with them. I might just put them in a box and still keep them. I don't know. Or I might sell them. Or trade them in for something else. What would you do? Let me know. That'd be a nice comment. What would you do? Would you keep them all, or would you like just upgrade them and then pass them on, the things that you don't need anymore? Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to hear your thoughts on. So whatever you're doing, peace, love and happiness. Remember, you are the Beatle Dave. Without you, this channel wouldn't exist, and I wouldn't know what to do myself, really, would I, sometimes? So yeah, thank you everybody, and just stay safe, and I will see you very, very soon. Stay tuned, because there might be another episode of our David Bowie collection coming up later today as well. So look out for that. I hope you're enjoying it. I've had a lot of comments on that one, actually, and a lot of views. So I must be doing something right, eh? So just stay safe what you do. In the UK, quick weather forecast, it's as black as the ace of spades, but the sun's out, and yet it's just been raining. Hey, England in the summertime, it's great, isn't it? So thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you very, very soon. Love and peace, peace and love.